Great new day to all my self-care family and friends. Welcome to another episode of the Room to Breathe podcast. I'm your host, Life Coach 614, and I am thrilled to have each and every one of you here with us today. Whether you are tuning in for a dose of inspiration or just a moment of calm, you're in the right place. Now, before we jump into today's episode, just a quick reminder. If you're enjoying the show, don't forget to tap the screen, like, comment, and share. Your support helps us reach more amazing people like you. And we'd absolutely love if you gave us a follow or subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to turn your notifications on so you never miss out on our latest content. And hey, you know what? While you're at it, why don't you visit theselfcareclub.org? We have some incredible affirmative apparel, motivational merch, and a bunch of free resources waiting just for you. You can also book your one-on-one life coaching session with me there. It's all about empowering yourself and embracing your journey. So we have everything you need to get started. Now, let's get ready to breathe, reflect, and grow together.
In the quiet moments, that's where I'll find a little room to breathe, leave it all behind. Give me room to breathe, I need some time to heal my heart, to clear my mind. Gonna love myself, yeah, I believe in the power of me. Just give me room to breathe.
Thank you guys. I see you, Wanda girl. Tapping, throwing them green hearts. Thank you guys. Blue, I see you. Miss Chalk, welcome in. Great new day to you. Thank you, Papa Smurf. All right, you guys. So, our quote for today is, "Everything that drowned me taught me how to swim." Thank you, big dog. Again, everything that drowned me taught me how to swim. That's a powerful quote, right? And so today I just wanted to talk about this particular quote because I believe that it is something, just like all of our other quotes, that it is something that could resonate with all of us, right? Because we always say life be life. And when life gets to life, and honey, we feel like we drown it. We feel like we're doing our best just to keep our heads above water, right? Like, nothing we do seems to get us ahead. We basically feel like we're drowning, right? Fly Phenom, welcome in. So, life has a way of throwing us into the deep end when we are least expected, right, Casper? And so, there have been moments where I felt like I was drowning. Moments where I just felt so overwhelmed by the currents of challenges, right? Jelly, welcome in. By heartbreak, setbacks. And it's in these moments of struggle and despair that we often find our greatest strengths. Right? Code Mom, welcome in. And so when we feel like we're going under, right? When we feel like the water is, wait a minute, sis, I don't know if you want slippers on today. As long as you got your life vest on, okay? As long as you got your life vest on, the shoes ain't gonna be a problem. So when we feel like we're going under, guys, right? When life is pulling us down under the water, right? When we can't keep our head above water, it is easy for us to panic. It is easy for us to want to just give up, throw in the towel, right? We're tired. We just don't want to do it anymore. We're just overwhelmed and it's a lot going on, right? And so, in these moments, the truth of the matter is, one of the things that I feel like we honestly need to embrace is that every single struggle, every single setback, every single thing that is trying to pull us down, right? All of these things that are trying to pull us down, they teach us something valuable, right? And so when you're swimming through life, right, you learn that as the current is pulling you under, you learn to swim, right? It's like a strength training. It seems difficult in the beginning, but the more we do it, the better off it feels, right? The stronger that we get, the easier that it becomes for us to navigate and get through things. And so, swimming isn't just about surviving, right? Hey, Mr. Good Vibes, welcome in. Hey, May May, thank you so much for coming back. Swimming isn't just about surviving, right? It's about thriving in the face of adversity. It's about finding the rhythm within the chaos. So we can't get through life with some sort of cheat code. We can't just show up, right? We've got to put the work in. We've got to put some effort in it. And even though there's so much stuff going on around us, we can still keep going, right? We can still continue to navigate. Even though there's so much messy things and so much chaos going on around us, we still have the opportunity to just go with the flow of things, but not necessarily flow to the negative or the toxic side of things, if that makes sense, right? Learning to float when the weight of the world tries to sink you. Because learning to float is just as important as knowing how to swim. Some people can swim, but they're not comfortable just floating, just allowing things to be, right? To allowing it to carry you. Yeah, float, not drift. We not drifting off, honey, because that'll take us somewhere completely off course. Right? Well, welcome in, Afro T-Lock. Welcome in. Good morning to you as well. Long Beach, California. Oh my gosh, it's early for you. Thank you. Thank you so much, Wanda girl. So yeah, learning to float when the weight of the world tries to sink you is just as important for us to, just as important skill for us to know. Thank you. Hey Courtney, welcome in. Males Positive Vibes, welcome in. Okay, so let me focus, y'all. We all over the place today. Happy Monday. It is what it is. So what I was saying is learning to flow is just as important. And understanding when the time is for us to start to kick our way back to the shore, right? Kick our way back to the surface. That builds our strength. Like we're strength training. As we continue to navigate through life, we're just building our strength, right? Afro T-Lock says, I just spoke on staying above water in life. Yes. And honestly, I think that it's something that is just, I don't like to use the word trending, but it is something that is happening for all of us right now. And what I do talk to a diverse group of people. I'm a person who's also very observant of people. So even if it's not a direct interaction that I have, I can pick up on other people's energies, right? And so that allows me to know when life just gets to life and for everybody, right? And what also throws a wrench in things for us is, we navigate through life as we are individually, right? Each and every one of us move through life. But then we're surrounded by other people who are moving through life. Not to mention, then we have things that are happening in the environment, right? We have things that are happening in the stars, right? The universe is doing things too. So all of these things are interconnected and all of these things are happening all at once. And so, for people who are into astrology and things like that, that we are about to enter another Mercury retrograde. And theoretically, during the retrograde, it appears that Mercury is rotating backwards. Now, it's not actually the case, but during this period of retrograde, everything seems to start to move backwards for us, right? Everything that we know and believe all of a sudden just seems like it's moving in reverse. We take one step forward and we feel like we're moving backwards, right? And so when things like this has happened, it's important for us to know and understand that there are some things that are just out of our control. But that doesn't mean we completely lose control, right? It's like, for those of you who have ever driven a car on ice, or in the snow, right? Or even on water. And you go to do something and you press the brake. And the expectation when you press the brake is that the car stops. But sometimes the car does not stop. Nothing wrong with your brakes. It just means you're on a slippery surface, right? Your car hydroplanes or your car is slipping on the ice. You don't just take your hands off the wheel and take your seatbelt off and fall out the car. No, you don't. You figure out how to navigate while everything is out of whack, out of order, right? And so that's what we have to keep doing in life. And so I want you guys to consider the times that you felt overwhelmed, right? Just take a moment and consider some of the times that you felt yourself being overwhelmed. Maybe it was a loss, a failure, or a moment when life just didn't go according to your plans, right? It's in those moments we discover our resilience. It's in those moments we find out what we're actually made of, what we are truly, truly made of. And so, just like swimmers train and they learn to navigate the water, right? We have to learn to navigate our lives. We've got to learn to take deep breaths. We've got to learn to pace ourselves. We've got to learn to trust that we have the strength to keep going. We got to trust in ourselves. We have to believe in ourselves that we have the power and the ability and that we are more than capable of handling it, right? And then with each stroke, each effort, right, this propels us forward, making us stronger and more confident. I can remember a time where I felt utterly defeated. Thank you, Tipsy, for the follow. I can remember a time where I completely felt defeated, right? Like I couldn't possibly keep my head above water. I was dealing with a lot of personal challenges that was going on. There was a lot of uncertainty when it came to my future, right? I felt as if there were anchors tied to me, weighing me down, and that nothing that I would do would break this stronghold over me, right? But it wasn't until I was in that moment of vulnerability that I discovered my own inner strength. Right? I learned that even though at that period when I felt like I was drowning, I was actually learning how to swim. I was building my strength up. I was learning to breathe more. Right? I was learning how to float. I knew at what point when I got tired, I knew that, okay, stop fighting it, flow with it, go with it, right? And so the beauty of it all is, as we think about it, our struggles don't define who we are. Just like my past doesn't define me, my mistakes don't define me, my struggles that I experience in life don't define me. All of these things refine us, right? Make us better, make us stronger. They shape us into the resilient and capable individuals that we are meant to be. Afro T-Lock says, when you take accountability for your change, you start to move forward in a positive way. Absolutely. Absolutely. And like I said, each one of these things, each one of these struggles, these trials that we go through, these tests, all of these things are setting us up to have a comeback story, right? All of these setbacks are our setups to our comeback. And so, each one of these challenges that we experience are just setting us up and guiding us to be better. Yeah, True Truth says it lifts the weight off of you. And so when you're in the midst of a storm, it's important for us to understand that there's a lesson in this. There's a lesson in every single thing we do, right? Now, because life has lifed us over the years, some of us are like, I don't even want another lesson. Lord, can you sign me up for the other package, because this trials and tribulation subscription is kicking my butt, right? Can I just advance to the blessed and highly favored course? because the trials and tribulations package is doing a thing on me, right? So sometimes it is hard for us to see the lesson in things. It's hard for us to understand why we have to endure hardship. Straight up says, God says to rejoice in your hardships because it built endurance and character. Absolutely. And Afro T-Lock says, I've been there. Never a start over in life, but they are lessons. Absolutely. Absolutely. And True Truth says it gives us more reason to trust him. Yeah. And so, when we're in the midst of the storms, yeah, like I said, I get it. It's sometimes hard to see the lesson. It's hard for us to understand why we lose people that we love. It's hard for us to understand why we don't get the things that we work so hard for sometimes, right? Why? Why me? Why do I have to go through this? Why is it so much easier for someone else and I'm working hard, I'm putting in the work, I'm putting in the effort. Why not me, right? And, one of the things that I had to learn when I was down bad, y'all, was that it was not my will, but the will of God, right? I had to understand and learn that, when we say what's for me is for me, I had to learn that maybe that is not what he has planned for me. But I also have to trust in the fact that what he has planned for me is so much greater than I could even imagine. So I had to stop fighting it, right? I had to stop fighting it, and I had to start understanding and trusting that faith and fear cannot coexist. I can't have faith but be afraid, right? That it just doesn't work out. And so, I had to begin taking moments to reflect on my life. I had to begin, to be more mindful of what I have and be more appreciative of what I have instead of focusing on what I didn't have. It's very easy for us to focus on what we don't have, what we're missing out on, right? Everybody wants to talk about what they're lacking. But we have to shift our mindset to understand that, even though I might be missing this, I got a whole bunch of this. And, I'm filled up with every single thing that he has for me right now, right? And so, again, if you take moments to just reflect on, what's happening in your life, what's happened in your past, things like that, then all of a sudden, you'll start to see that each struggle has equipped you with the skills and the strength, things that you never even imagined that you had, right? If I look back over my years of living, y'all, I could say I have, over the last 45 years, 100% survived every single weapon that was meant to destroy me. All the grief, all the heartache, all the heartbreak, all the missed opportunities, the failures, the whatever it is, every single weapon that was formed against me over the last 45 years did not prosper. No matter how hard it was at the time, I'm still here. I'm still standing, right? And so when we start to look at life, through a different lens, when we start to analyze things and see things for what they are, not from the lens of us being hurt or offended, right? But from the lens of knowing that what's ahead of me is so much greater than what's behind me. And we start to trust the process and we start to believe, right? Yes, God says different. But it was made for my good, exactly. And every single thing that we grow up believing, for those of us who are spiritual believers, right? Every single thing that we grow up believing, we know that it's not thy will, but the will of God. We know that he will lay our enemies down and make them our footstool, honey. He will clear a path for us. He will make a way for us. We just have to trust the process, right? And we have to remember, faith without work is dead. So we got to do more than just be faithful in him, right? We do have to also put the work in. And by putting the work in, it means for us to be more positive, be more loving, be more caring, right? Giving back, having more of an attitude of gratitude, right? Yeah, we got to step out. can't just, you can't just talk about it. Right? We got to step out because we don't do that dead face. Nothing happens when we just say, God got me, and then we do nothing. It's like, I always tell y'all the story how my dad said, in life, everyone carries somebody on their back at some point, right? So you think about a piggyback ride. If I hop on your back because I'm down bad, and you got it to do, and you like, come on, sis, get on my back, I'll carry you. Okay, cool, right? I got faith that you could do this, and you got the faith that you can carry me. But as I'm on your back, I start to put my feet down, and I drag my feet in the dirt. It's making it harder for you to carry me, right? You're like, I'm willing to give you a lift, but you got to pick your feet up. Yeah. So Afro T-Lock says, God says you do the first step, and I'll do the rest. Absolutely. True Truth says faith without work is dead. And Straight Up says not the temporary things in life, but focus on the eternal. Exactly. And that's why when I navigate through life and I do the things that I do in life, I do it and somewhat it's like I do it because I want the reward, but it's not the reward from man. Right? I'm just trying to secure my name up in the book, y'all. Right? So when I'm out here and I'm being obedient and I'm coaching and I'm giving back to people and things like that, I'm just being obedient. I mean, I'm glad that y'all get to benefit from it. This ain't about y'all. Right? This is what was put on my heart to do. This is what I have been led to do. So I'm just being obedient and listen to what my daddy told me to do, right? Now, this is what was put on my heart to do. This is what I have been led to do. So I'm just being obedient and listen to what my daddy told me to do, right? Now, if y'all happen to benefit from it, that's a bonus, right? That's a bonus because the things that I do in life, I'm not doing it for man. Man may benefit from it, but that ain't what it's about, right? I ain't out here doing it for the gram. It's something different, right? It hits a little different when you're doing it for that higher power. Like I'm just trying to please my daddy, right? Hey, Kim, welcome in. So, think about it. When you face a strong current in life, you learn to build endurance. Yeah, straight up. When you're caught in a whirlwind of emotions, you learn to navigate through your feelings. When the waves of life knock you down, you learn to stand up stronger each time. You fall down 9 times, you get up 10, right? These are the experiences that build our foundation of resilience. Exactly. Straight Up says, whatever you eat, whatever you drink, and whatever you do is for the glory of God. Absolutely. Absolutely. And it honestly makes your path clearer. When I was fighting my purpose, when I wasn't walking truly in my purpose, and I was fighting what I was being called to do. I was fighting what I was being led to do. So then it made my vision of what I needed to do even more difficult for me. I couldn't understand why I didn't feel fulfilled, why I didn't understand, like why my path just wasn't lit up for me. I'm looking around and I see everybody else accomplishing things and doing things, and I'm like, hold on, where's my thing? Where's my lane? So I was all over the place. I would try this and I would do this kind of work, or I would try this and do this kind of work. And y'all, for the longest, I couldn't even finish my degree because I kept switching majors because this just really didn't feel right. And then, okay, I move over here and this doesn't really feel right. So then I got to the point in my life where I was so comfortable. I just sat in a space like, oh, well, this is comfortable. It pays the bills, whatever. But I wasn't happy. And of course, what happens in that period? Life get to life, and because God tapping me on my shoulder trying to say, hey, that's not what I have for you. And I understand what you want, but you need to do what I want, because like that's not what I have for you. And yeah, I hear what you're saying, but you need to hear what I'm saying, right? And so I feel like all of a sudden it was like, oh, you can handle it, cool. Well, you got it then. And so all of a sudden I felt like he took his hands off of it for a minute, because he was like, I feel like God told me, well, Shantae, you got your degree and you know everything. Like, just going out there and get it then. Right? And so I wasn't listening to the soft whisper straight up. I was not listening to the screams. I was not listening to the yells. I was running around here like a spoiled little brat who knew everything. Right? Come on now, Afro T-Lock. I'm here for it. We definitely need to link up. Welcome in, Whitney. Hey, girl. Hey, girl. Hey. So I wasn't listening. And so life was lifing for me, very heavy. And then luckily, I did listen to something. And I know that it was nothing but the voice of God telling me, you need help. You can't do this by yourself. You need to tap in. You need to sit down and process everything that's happening, because I've sent you an abundance of lessons, but you haven't learned anything. Right? I understand that you're still here and you're still standing, but you haven't learned anything. So y'all, I finally listened, and I started going to therapy, and I started releasing, and I started doing the shadow work, and I started going back to previous lessons and relearning things. Right? And with my therapist, I was able to go through and start to really understand why things were happening to me in the way that they were happening. Why, things that I thought I had survived and thought I had gotten through, why it was still here, because I was carrying this baggage and I wasn't doing the work. I was working, right? I was faithfully working, but I wasn't doing my faith work. I wasn't doing what it took for me, because I was running around doing everybody else's faith work. I was running around making sure that everybody else was okay. And he was like, yo, it's time for you to save yourself. Your cup is empty because you have not enough common sense to fill your own cup up first. And so once I started doing that, and I started doing the work for me, and I started realizing what I deserve and what I'm worth, I started understanding what I deserve and what I was worth. And so I still see the same therapist. We 4 years in now, and when I tell you, it is still constant work. It's a never-ending process. We are healing. We are not yet healed, right? I don't even know that I want to reach the space of healed, because healing is so fulfilling to me. So I'm all about that ING, the ongoing process. Welcome back, Jelly. That ongoing process, that continual growth. I don't ever want to stop learning. I don't ever want to stop growing. And I know that not every lesson is going to be my favorite. I know that I'm going to take some courses that I'm not going to be interested in, right? But I am faithful in knowing that what God has for me, He has for me. And so by doing the work for me, by hearing this save yourself message, right? And it was constantly being bombarded. What happened was I kept hearing, when the plane is going down, put the mask on yourself, right? And so I kept hearing it. Not just when we were taking flights places. Hey, Kale, welcome in. Hey, Nikki. Not just when we were taking flights, y'all, right? I kept hearing it in different shows that I was watching. I kept hearing it in different conversations that I was going in. And it felt like deja vu, right? To the point where I was just like, why does everybody keep saying that? It was like trending everywhere. Put the mask on yourself. Save yourself. SOS. And I kept seeing it, and I would dream about it, and it would come up in all sorts of conversations, and I'm like, this is crazy. This is crazy. And so then I had to realize, wait, this is the universe telling me to save myself. Hey, Connie, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. That was the universe telling me, hey, you're not listening to me. You won't sit still long enough to listen to me. So let me try to get this to you in the other ways. Let me put this in the music that you listen to. Let me put this on the shows that you're watching. Let me put this in the mouths of the people that you're conversing with. And the only time you are sitting down and you are being still is when you sleep. So let me make you think about it. Let me have you dream about it. Let me bless you. Right? And so at some point, I'm in one of my therapy sessions, and I'm telling my therapist, like, I keep hearing this and I keep seeing it. And then all of a sudden, it was just like a light bulb went off, and it was like, aha. The reason why is because you're not doing it. You have to save yourself. You need to put yourself first. And you need to put yourself first, not for the sake of tuning everyone else out. It's not a wall to keep other people out. But you can't show up and be the best version of you if you aren't the best version of you. Right? So you got to put the mask on yourself so that way you can move about to help the people that you love. Yeah, you have to listen and pay attention to the signs. You're right, FLT Lock. You have to. And you know, some of them are subtle signs, but if we don't pay attention to these little signs and we keep ignoring them, then these signs start to get bigger. Right? I don't really believe that the signs ever go away. I think that we just become more immune to them as we go. And I don't want to be a person navigating through life with no signs. I don't want to be out here tripping with no map, y'all. Like, that's not what I desire. It makes me uncomfortable. My anxiety was like, whoa, did you just call me? No, we're not out here tripping with no map. Right? We want to make sure that we have a plan. We have a destination. I know that I'm supposed to be somewhere. I know that I'm supposed to go somewhere. I want directions. I would like for the Lord to order my steps, right? Like, I'm not saying he got to tell me the whole outcome. I don't need to know the whole thing. Can you just point me in the right direction, right? So again, you know, we have to remember that when we are faced with these strong currents in life, we're just strength training, right? Exactly. You're right, Afro-T-Lock. Remember that you come first and that you can't support others if you're not together first. So I do have 10 affirmations for us today, you guys. Just some affirmations to remind us of our strength and resilience. Number 1, I am stronger than any challenge that comes my way. I am stronger than any challenge that comes my way. I embrace my struggles as opportunities to grow and learn. I embrace my struggles as opportunities to grow and learn. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. Every setback is a setup for a comeback. I trust in my ability to navigate life's storms. I trust in my ability to navigate through life's storms. I am resilient, capable, and strong. I am resilient, capable, and strong. I have the power to transform my pain into strength. I have the power to transform my pain into strength. I rise above adversity and thrive. I rise above adversity and thrive. Every experience teaches me and helps me grow. Every experience teaches me and helps me grow. I am learning to swim through life with grace and confidence. I am learning to swim through life with grace and confidence. In our last affirmation today, I am grateful for the strength within me. Hi, Mike. I am grateful for the strength within me. Thank you, love. So the next time that you guys find yourself on the deep end, I want you to remember this. You have the power to swim. You have the strength to overcome. Embrace the struggle because it's teaching you how to move forward. It is teaching you how to thrive. It is teaching you how to find your rhythm amidst the waves. You know, when I started the self-care club, I faced numerous obstacles. There were days when I doubted myself, when I questioned my purpose, when I felt like I was sinking. But every single setback, I learned a very valuable lesson about perseverance, about the importance of self-care, about the incredible strength that lies within all of us, right? And all of a sudden, these lessons became the cornerstone of my journey, helping me to build a community that was focused on healing and empowerment. So Afro T-Lock says, I sell a self-love box with a key to remind you that you hold the key to your own choices. Yes. I am here for it. Is that Soren who came in? Soren? Hey girl, hey. Hey James. So in closing today, you guys, let's remember to celebrate our journey, our resilience, our ability to swim even when the waters are rough. Let's honor the lessons that we've learned and the strength that we've gained along the way. Because every single thing that has drowned us has indeed taught us how to swim. We just got to embrace it. All right? And so as we wrap up our episode today, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us. If you enjoyed our time together, make sure that you give me a follow, subscribe to our channel, so that way you never miss out on any of our content. And don't forget, I want you to go visit our website at selfcareclub.org. There you have the opportunity to book a personalized one-on-one coaching session if you are interested. We also have affirmative apparel and other motivational merch, including music, as well as a treasure trove of free resources just for you. And, you know, again, whether you are looking to elevate your self-care game or you just need a little inspiration, we've got you covered. I thank each and every one of you for being here today and for being a part of our Self-Care Club community. I am excited to connect with you all again. Remember, we do meet regularly here Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I do invite all of you to come back and join us for another episode of the podcast. Hey, 99. Until then, you guys, I want you guys to keep breathing, stay positive, and remember that you are always supported here. So we are never alone, okay? Don't be afraid to take up space and make a little room for you to breathe.